Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I want to share some thoughts about the trailer that just dropped, the full trailer that just dropped for Swamp Thing. If you have not seen it, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. What I really like about this trailer is it obviously kind of continues what I'd kind of brought up previously, just based on like the teaser I'd seen of Swamp Thing, and that is almost like Swamp Thing almost being like this monster that, like, even when you look at this trailer, it's mainly not even Swamp Thing, and he's in it here and there, but it's mainly just on focusing on like other characters. It's almost like Swamp Thing is almost like this background thing, so it almost feels like this horror movie thing of like you see like the monster or killer like once in a while, but it's not like they're constantly in your face in certain regard. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see what Swamp Thing just ends up being as its whole. Like, I mean, who knows how much of that trailer is cut from the entire season and how much of it just like the earlier episodes, maybe pops up later more in the season. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting because I think this show is going to do a very interesting thing, like, because it does not feel like a superhero show, especially when you look at the teasers comparing to this like full trailer. Like, none of it feels like a superhero show, and I think that's going to be very interesting to see like how that all gets handled. Like I brought up before, it does feel like a horror show almost to a certain extent, so I'm very interested to see how that all kind of gets implemented together and like what the structure of the show kind of ultimately ends up being. Because essentially it seems like, obviously, like it seems like our main characters are Alec and Abby. Abby seems like she's from the CDC, and it seems like this town where everything's going down, it seems like it has some importance to her. Maybe it's like where she grew up or whatever, but she definitely has a connection to the town, at least what I was kind of piecing together from the trailer. But she's here to kind of deal with everything because it's like a whole bunch of people start getting sick, and it seems like obviously the water's been messed with because some doctor, or rather some company that maybe he's associated with, you know, or maybe he's just a doctor on his own, whatever the case may be, it seems like someone working with him or for him has been dumping certain chemicals into the swamp, ergo, you know, creating Swamp Thing. Because that was something I was curious about. Like, I wasn't 100% sure whether like Swamp Thing had already existed, or whether, because I think Alec is the dude who becomes Swamp Thing, because obviously he was examining, being like, yeah, I think there's some stuff going down in the swamp, like people, I think someone's dumping chemicals in there, and I guess like someone trying to cover it up ends up drowning him in it or something, and he ends up, you know, becoming Swamp Thing. But it doesn't seem like it's just affecting him, it's affecting everyone in town, to the point like people are getting sick and dying from it. But the thing is, like, why did he become Swamp Thing and other people didn't? I mean, it does seem like maybe some people are going to become other things too. It's because at one point you see like Abby reaching for her phone, and then someone almost looking like the girl from The Grudge. It makes you wonder, is that something like from her head? Is she kind of hallucinating from what's in the swamp? Like maybe she was only in there long enough for it to affect her like that, so maybe she's hallucinating, or maybe that is some other effects of it. We do see certain, it's kind of interesting too, because the show, I mean, obviously like DC Universe isn't shying away from kind of getting all bloody and stuff. Like we do see like some people get impaled by like plants and killed, which, you know, because obviously all across their shows so far, whether it be Titans or Doom Patrol, they've obviously had a very mature tone for these shows. Once again, kind of feeding into what I was talking about, like Swamp Thing almost being this monster. Not like, I mean, we do see Swamp Thing later on knocking people out, so the question then becomes like, is that actually Swamp Thing killing people, or is that something or someone else entirely different? There was also a scene at one point, it seemed like, you know, Alec was there for Abby, but it seemed like he had this silhouette looks like that of him as a human. So that makes me wonder, is it like gonna be a slow process to him becoming Swamp Thing, and then he eventually goes full-blown Swamp Thing, where it's like, oh, like the monster kind of takes complete control of him? Or was it a situation, because I was under the impression he can't turn back. Like, I mean, once again, I know nothing about Swamp Thing, but I assumed he can't turn back. So I wonder, is that something where it's like that was earlier in the season, or is that supposed to be something where it's like, oh no, like she sees him that way, but in actuality he's already become Swamp Thing, and just because maybe she's dazed, she only sees him like that. Like I said, I'm very interested to check this out, because I definitely feel like this is going to be like no other superhero show we've seen thus far. In the comments down below, let me know some of your thoughts. What do you want to see from the season? What do you expect to see from the season? Let me know all your thoughts. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time I meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good